Guys, what's up? I'm Rizzo.
I'm Zero.
And I'm DK. On this episode of Anime Reaction, we watched the 6th batch of Saiki Kusuo no Psi Nan.
If you want to check out our reaction to the 6th batch of Saiki Kusuo no Psi Nan, hit that link in the description below.
And be sure to give us feedback in the comment section because we love hearing from you.
And as always, if you like what you see, subscribe to Otaku Saga, and don't forget to like and share our videos.
And thanks for watching.
Oh my god.
This one was a bit of a brain melter.
Well, I mean, it's always tough to, because they pack so many stories into one 30-minute segment, you know?
Yeah.
It's always kind of tough for us to follow all of it.
Try to comprehend.
And there's no real...
Or to be able to comment on it in a discussion that we film, like, literally in the same video.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're just sitting here after the episode like, wow, that all happened. This was definitely a bit of a trip.
Yeah, so in the first segment, Saiki was at the store trying to figure out which coffee jelly he wanted to buy with his 3,000 yen of monthly
allowance.
Monthly allowance.
Let's see, do I go for more or do I go for slightly better?
Or do I go for extravagant?
Yeah, do I go for more or do I go for slightly better? Or let's pick the weird third option. There was an episode of Sayonara Zetsubo Sensei that had a theme similar to that.
The weird
where it's like you're choosing between option A and option B and you choose option C. Like every time. And that's pretty much what happened here. It's like, okay, do I choose, the 3-pack for cheap, or do I choose the, individual ones for a reasonable price? Oh, let's spend all my money on one.
Never.
Don't do that.
Ever.
Actually, in the long run, it's probably good for him because there's probably a reason why I'm this fat. Because I would choose the cheap ones.
More bang for your buck.
Because 48.
You can make a bet out of it.
Pretty much.
Who the hell buys jelly or pudding or whatever and decides, you know what, I'm going to make a bet out of it?
Who the hell decides to fill up I think it was like a 20 meter long tub of syrup just to have an Olympic swimmer swim through it? Oh yeah, the Mythbusters.
Ooh.
Just saying, there's some weird people out there.
He immediately gets his comeuppance.
Oh my god, and the way that it happens. That poor kid.
I wanted Saiki to like destroy him.
Yeah, his jelly gets hit by a baseball, and instinctively he uses his telekinetic powers to send that baseball into the fucking stratosphere.
Probably farther.
Maybe farther. It definitely went far enough that it landed in the ocean, or in some water, I guess. Technically, it could have been a lake, but I'm assuming the ocean, seeing its exit trajectory. But, yeah, as it turns out, the kid was with his, I wouldn't really call him a friend, with the Bolchinian.
Cockhead.
Yes. And,
Cockhead.
So then they basically, they appealed to Saiki's softer side, I guess, by by having a sob story about how the kid's grandfather gave him the ball, and it was signed by a player. So Saiki basically uses his teleportation power to just teleport the ball back to him, but he said earlier in the episode that when he does that, he has to teleport something of equal value to the item that he's trying to teleport.
And wouldn't you know it, it comes out to exactly.
That
30.
baseball was about 3,000 yen. Goodbye, pudding. It's now at the bottom of the ocean.
Yeah.
In a surprising twist, however, very surprising for this show.
Especially for this show that's called The Disastrous Life of Saiki Kusuo.
Yeah, he actually ends up getting 3 puddings because the kid comes back to thank him. So,
Who'd have thunk?
da-da-da-da.
No good deed goes unpunished.
Yeah. So in the second segment, it's mostly about the Chunibyo guy, and basically there's a new fortune teller in town, and so everybody's talking about this fortune teller, and the Chunibyo guy, of course, goes to check out the fortune teller, and Saiki sneaks in with him, invisible, and well, surprise, surprise, the fortune teller is a giant fraud. You didn't see that coming, right?
Certainly not the sidekick.
Right. The fortune teller basically uses the what is it, the Barnum effect, to tell a fortune, and then convinces the Chunibyo guy to buy a cheap ass necklace off of her for, what was it?
About $300
Yeah,
American.
what was it? About 30,000 yen.
Yeah.
And basically, this kind of pisses Saiki off.
Because she promised that it would allow him to be friends with Saiki.
Yeah. So he sneaks back out, turns back visible, and then comes right back into the right back into her shop, and apparently puts a fear of Saiki into her.
Well,
I
apparently,
was going to say fear of God, but it's basically the same thing at this point.
apparently, I think he did what he did to that one student in the Occult Studies Club, claiming to be a member of Dark Reunion again.
Yeah.
So I feel a running gag coming on strong here.
Now, interestingly enough, that shit does happen.
Oh yeah.
I've actually...
What, you mean like psychics being total frauds? About to go play in traffic?
No, actually, it's just a little simpler than that. There was a small app that I had that did all sorts of astrology stuff. Basically, just zodiac. You know, this is your zodiac
For the
day and stuff like that. Anyway, you could sign up for newsletters and other things. So that's what I did. I did just a simple checkbox. Cool. They ended up sending me a whole bunch of offers for some really weird stuff. Like absolutely mind-bogglingly weird stuff.
Like power crystals like you used to see in malls back in the 90s?
Actually, I'm talking about like 24 karat gold cards.
Cards.
Yeah. It was like you could get the entire like king through 8 or
Oh, like actual like gold playing cards?
yeah.
Huh.
How weird.
Extremely weird.
If it were like tarot
But it
cards,
wasn't
that would make
like-
sense, but
But it was because like my lucky suit for the day was clubs or something like that. So it was like, okay, so here's a gold ace of clubs because this is your card for the day. And, I never actually bought it because they wanted like $80 for it.
Oh yeah. Yeah. You know, the astrology stuff in general, it kind of uses. I don't think it's necessarily technically the Barnum effect, but it's very similar where it's worded purposely vague so it could fit pretty much anyone.
Yeah.
yeah.
But
You can just pick up on the similarities like, oh, me too.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that describes me perfectly.
So again,
When it would describe pretty much anyone perfectly.
So I assert my position. Such people should go play in traffic.
Yeah. Anyway, so the third segment was Saiki, the Chunibyo guy, and the cockhead were all going to go get ramen, and they're set upon by, I think her name's Teruhashi?
The bitch.
The bitch.
The bitches.
And since she has an interest in Saiki, she naturally tags along, which prompts the other two to act like complete morons.
It's actually,
I'm sorry. It prompts the other two to act like more moronic than they already are, because they're already pretty fucking stupid.
Well, the Chuny drops his bandages for one.
Yeah, like
yeah.
So that's a
They've
plus.
They went so stupid. They've come full circle.
Pretty much.
yeah. But yeah, basically, she, in her mind, I suppose. Excuse me. She's trying to get Saiki to be flustered and start his sentences like, yeah.
Yeah.
Which I thought led to the funny gag where everybody else ended up going, oh.
Well, except when
Except
that
when they
ramen
brought out
came
the
out.
ramen, which was everybody went, oh.
times 4.
But yeah, she tags along to go get ramen, and as it turns out, they go to the nastiest place fucking possible.
Which, okay, the exterior was dingy. I was thinking, okay, maybe it's a hole in the wall place.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking
Yeah.
too. It's like, I probably wouldn't go there, but you know, you never know. It could be something like really, really good.
Right.
And then, you know, they get in there and it's just filthy. And it's
The
like,
manager looks
okay,
like
maybe
Danny
it's-
DeVito let himself go for a couple years.
Yeah, maybe it's surprisingly good. Then they bring out the ramen. It's like, okay, it looks
That's it,
nasty.
no.
The joke is probably that it's good. No, it's just fucking nasty. Which I find works out so much better as a joke.
I like that.
Guess
yeah.
he was the first person to give it a try.
Teruhashi.
Oh.
Yeah,
I
cockhead.
almost feel sorry for her, but she really did bring it upon herself.
But
Yeah.
yeah, cockhead, you have no chance now. Absolutely
Right.
none.
As he had one to begin with.
Right.
Yeah, I don't think anybody really had a chance.
But interestingly enough, there are pretty good hole in the walls like that.
Oh,
right.
all over the place.
So I can't remember the name of it, and I really prefer not to say the name of it, even if I did remember it. But there is a ramen place in Denver that I used to go to all the time when I go to NDK, the anime convention there in Denver, which incidentally was just this past weekend.
Indeed.
And this ramen place, like when you came upon the shop looked fine from the outside. You go in, it's a little dingy. Like I'm not even gonna lie.
The lights are
looked-
pretty dim.
The lights are dim. The counter really needs to be replaced. You know, even as far as like the guy uses these, you know, cheap plastic cups for cups or whatever, and you can tell that they've been around for like 10 plus years. So you could tell that it needs to be replaced. But I mean, the ramen is just top notch.
Yeah.
It's really, really good. But yeah, there are places like that, and then especially here, living in the Bay Area of California, there's a lot of places where, because the rent's so expensive here, the land prices, a lot of times restaurants that are, you know, privately run, they'll not be able to rent out a location that's really good.
Good or new or something.
new or whatever.
Yeah.
So you end up with a lot of places, especially in San Francisco, where it's like the building's like 100 years old or whatever, and it just looks so crappy, but the food is really good.
Yeah, there was a all-you-can-eat sushi bar down in the Springs that was very similar.
Yeah.
It really didn't look like much at all for sushi in Colorado.
It was pretty good.
Really good.
Is it the one that kind of looked like it would have been like an old Italian restaurant or something?
I think so.
If so, then yeah, it doesn't look it doesn't look like much of anything, but really good.
Yep.
Really good place.
Yeah. So don't always be fooled by appearances, I guess. Can't judge a book by its cover, but
definitely look through the grapevine and make sure that it's a good place.
yeah.
I guess the cast of Saiki Kusuo no Psi Nan haven't heard of Yelp.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah, that ramen looked fucking disgusting.
Yeah, it did.
But moving on.
That gave me a stomach ache, and I wasn't even eating it.
Did Himeji from Baka and Test make it or something? What the hell?
It stopped me from being hungry.
Yeah.
It makes me hungry for like actual food.
But the next one, we get a ride along with the psychic, or the medium. The medium.
Spirit medium.
Yeah.
He's
he's still a pervert.
Total sleaze bag.
Indeed. In this one, he decides that he is going to attempt to find a girl's missing gym clothes. Because this says trap all over it.
Right.
But, yeah.
Or at least, it's not going to end well. You already know.
He ends up asking a couple ghosts if they've seen it, and they end up following this guy.
And then the guy's guardian spirit comes out to try to stop him from outing the guy, I guess. And because of that whole exchange, the guy hears him. The guy runs away. He walks in, finds the gym clothes, and then the girls come in, and they're like, "Oh, you're the one who stole them."
Screw being a psychic. This sucks. I checked the panties for you. This is awesome. A pervert to the end.
As much as we talked about some of the other segments, that's really all I got to say about this one.
Pretty much.
Right?
Well, a lot of the segments in this series
They're white.
are kind of.
That
A lot of the skits in this series are kind of simplistic when it's not really focused on Saiki. So
Yeah.
there you have it.
And then, so the last segment, Saiki has a dream that he doesn't have powers anymore.
Oh, ho, ho, the poor fool.
And then there's an explosion in the background, and he wakes up and then tests out he does indeed have powers again. Well, he always had powers.
he was going to totally punch the wall.
Better not.
I'd better not do that. What punch? Anyway, so as it turns out, it's a what do you call it?
A premonition?
Yeah, a premonition dream, and there's an explosion at a gas station right around the corner from his house. So he goes down there, and as it turns out, the cause of the explosion is one little rock. That triggers a lot of shit.
That is a cursed rock, and he should have just hurled it into space.
Yeah, he really...
Or just like obliterated it. But according to the chain reaction thought process that Saiki had, a girl
is running down the sidewalk late for school. She steps on the rock and slips and falls into a
rather unladylike pose.
Yes, a rather unladylike pose.
After launching the rock with her shoe, so the rock is traveling
Fast enough that it knocks out the guy who's driving the
gas tanker truck.
The gas tanker truck.
who proceeds to step on the gas pedal,
Like hunch over the wheel and
makes the truck run into the gas pump, spilling a bunch of gas everywhere.
And now, meanwhile, the schoolgirl is in the unflattering pose, and a passing pervert on a moped sees it, checks it out, and, well, loses his,
Basically, he slips in the gas, and the moped slides, crashes against the gas pump, and creates a spark.
Slides awesomely.
Slides awesomely, and crashes against the gas pump and makes a spark, and boom.
Saiki's words, not mine. Or in a cool fashion.
Anyway, so Saiki picks up the rock.
Ha!
The girl,
Crisis averted.
Girl runs by. Tanker drives into the pump. Drives into the gas station. No problem. Crisis averted. Throws a rock over his shoulder
wall
and walks away.
And then gets a premonition about his skull exploding.
Well, catching on fire, I think.
Cursed fucking rock.
As it turns out, he threw it over the wall and it hit Cockhead in the head.
Who proceeds to
take it with him,
thinking it's a meteor,
and then walks to school. Meanwhile, the guy who always flashes his ass.
Oh, the
guy, the workout
jock?
guy.
Yeah, the jock, redhead jock.
He brought a bunch of kerosene to the staff lounge because the teacher asked for some kerosene for their heater, and he brought all of it. Like
2, 4, 6, at least 8 jerry cans full.
Yeah, full of kerosene. And so the teacher's like, well, you brought way too much. Don't worry about it. Just set it in the hallway. I'll take care of it. And
so the cockhead decides to bring the rock to the Chuny. And the Chuny's like, oh, this is just a rock. Tosses it up in the air. It lands up on the same floor as the kerosene. Meanwhile, another student
it's the green-haired guy that Terahashi got the look for Saiki that one episode.
Is running frantically because he is late for class, slips on said cursed rock,
which goes flying into fluorescent lights right above. Oh yeah, he slips on the rock, and then he slips into the kerosene, knocking it over and causing it to leak. The rock hits a fluorescent lamp, sparks go flying. Looks like he miraculously dives in and catches the sparks.
That would hurt.
Maybe he's shielding his hand.
How was that student late for class? Saiki just woke up. Assuming that he doesn't wake up like just in time for school, it really should be like an hour before school at least.
Right.
That is true, yeah.
And what the hell is Cockhead and Chuny doing? Skipping class?
Why are they doing at school early?
And
that segment makes no sense.
Now that you think about it.
And that is why we're like, psych, what is this?
And actually, thinking back to the gas station incident, that girl was late for school. Granted, not all schools start at the same time.
And she wasn't in the same uniform.
She wasn't in the same uniform, but it seems a little fucking early. Anyway, let us know what you thought of anime, what you thought of our reaction in the comment section below.
Yep, thumbs up if you like it, thumbs down if you don't.
Or have brain cells missing. I know I do. That's going to do it for this episode of Anime Reaction. As always, I'm DK.
I'm Zero.
And I'm Rizzo. See you next time.